Hey guys, in this video I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for shipping a firearm. So this is for if you want to, if you're going to sell a gun, maybe if you're giving a gun away and you're shipping it to somebody, and a little bit in a couple other cases I'll get into in a bit. But this is going to be a tips and tricks. I'm not going to get real deep into the legal side of it. If you want the legalese of it, I recommend Legal Brief has a pretty good video on it. But I'm just going to give you some tips and tricks just like as a non-licensee or as a lay person, you know, if you want to be able to ship a gun, here's some tips and tricks. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I just happen to sell a gun, so I just thought this would be a good time to make a video real quick. What I sold was a K31, not this exact K31, it's another one. It's another one that I have. Only reason why I'd be selling one is because I already have one. I love these rifles, they're really cool. So if you're going to ship a rifle, a couple things you need to know is that basically you can ship rifles through FedEx, UPS, and the USPS, US Postal Service. I've shipped guns a lot through FedEx and UPS. Rule of thumb with those is you have to go to like their customer centers or their hubs or whatever they call it. You have to go there. Even if sometimes, I forgot which one said that I could go to like their store and do it. And I got there, and then the person was like, no, you can't do this. This is dangerous. Like, this is a dangerous good. And another person there was like, no, it's not a dangerous good. Like, it's fine. We could ship it through here. And it was a whole lot of, it seems like everybody is confused. Some employees you'll run into will just be, you know, scared or nervous or whatever, and nobody knows the laws on these things. So, but you can definitely ship through the hubs and the customer center of UPS and FedEx, so keep that in mind. I would just plan on going there. You're going to definitely need, to be legal, an FFL. You're going to definitely need the copy of the FFL that the firearm is going to. You're going to make sure that the firearms dealer that you're sending it to will accept it from a non-licensee, and if they don't, you're going to have to give it to an FFL, and then you don't need this video. So you're going to have to make sure that they will accept it from a non-licensee. You're going to need a couple copies of the FFL. And then you're going to need, obviously, a box and a lot of good packaging material. This is the box that I'm going to use. Obviously, this is this has been used before in shipping a gun. Actually, I think this box went from Maine to Utah, where I picked it up on the way from Washington to Missouri. So this is a pretty well-traveled box, and I'm going to give this one last trip. So you're going to want a good size box. I have no idea the measurements of this. Maybe I should have taken that before, but you want to measure your gun and make sure that the box you have will fit. If you don't have a box, you can go to like a FedEx or UPS store, and you can get like a golf club bag and stuff like that. That will fit. However, the best way to do it I found is when you buy a gun and it comes in a box, just keep the box. That's why I have this one. If you go and you pick up a gun from an FFL and they keep the box that you shipped in it, just ask for it. Say, hey, can I have the box that the gun came in? And they'll give it to you. And if it still has the styrofoam and packing bubbles or whatever with it, that's a plus. That'll save on the next step, which is going to be bubble wrap or something to protect the gun. All right, before you wrap the gun, before you ship it, you need to go in and with good lighting and with some type of high quality camera, be it your phone camera if it takes good pictures or whatever, take high quality detailed picture of the entire rifle, especially the stock, the wooden stock part of it, all right? You're going to take really close-up details, take pictures of any existing cracks or any sort of defects in the wood, but just make sure that you can pretty much see all around the stock and all around the rifle in these pictures. I'll tell you why. I did that one time because I was selling a rifle and the buyer actually requested these, super, detailed pictures, which is, it's cool. So I took all these pictures. I took a lot more than he actually wanted or that I sent him. And I sent him the rifle and everything. It was all cool. And when he got the rifle, he said, hey, you didn't tell me about this crack in the stock. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he took a picture of the stock, and there's this hairline crack along the wrist of the stock. And I thought to myself, I swore there wasn't any cracks in this gun. So I went back and I looked. Thankfully, I had those pictures. I had those detailed pictures, and I looked, and I said, hey, and I sent it to him. I said, hey, look, this is the picture I took right before I sent the gun. It had no cracks like that. So obviously the gun got cracked in shipping. It was really cool. We had insurance on the rifle. He actually paid for the insurance on the shipping, so it really worked out because I just happened to have the pictures that proved that the gun was in good shape for me, and it could also prove it to the carrier that, hey, this was in good shape when we got it. He ended up getting an undisclosed amount of money. I don't know for the damages, but it's really important. You're going to want to take some detailed photos of the entire gun before you send it. All right, so what I like to do, I got the gun wrapped up here. I just overdo this thing in bubble wrap. I just wrap up everything. You want to make sure that it's pretty well wrapped from the muzzle to the end of the buttstock. You're going to wrap this up very, very nicely. Expect this gun to be beat up by a lot of underpaid and overworked postal employees. So just make sure you wrap this gun up very well. It's also good sometimes to take the bolt out. So this is the K31 bolt. I took it out and wrapped it up because sometimes the bolt's sticking out, especially on straight bolt rifles. It could poke a hole in the box or something like that. So it's good to most of the time just remove the box or remove the bolt from the rifle and just put it in the box. Make sure you tell the buyer that, hey, the bolt's separate. And then it's good to have some type of sort of spacing material, like these little air packs or peanuts or whatever it may be. That'll just sort of keep the rifle from sliding around too much in the box. All right, this is what I do with the FFLs, or with the copies here. I take one, I keep one on me, and I bring it with the rifle to the place because they're going to ask for this sheet of paper. So when you give the rifle, say, hey, I'm shipping this rifle. They'll know what to do, and they'll ask usually for this. They go and they type in some stuff. I don't know what to do. I guess verify it or whatever. And sometimes they keep this, sometimes they give it back. But you're going to want a copy of the FFL that you're sending it to on you whenever you go to the place that you're going to ship it from. Another thing that I do with the second copy that I print out, what I do is on the back, you're going to want to put some basic information about you. You're going to want to, this is for the transfer, for the FFL. So you're going to want to say like transfer from, put your name, your address. Sometimes FFLs, they want a picture of your driver's license to put on file. It's not required. It's just kind of like this thing. I think the ATF is like wanting dealers to start documenting the people that are sending them guns, something like that. But the FFL you're sending to might require a driver's license. Just know that. You could also include that in here. But put your name, your address, your information on here, and then transfer to, and then you're going to want to put the transferee's information that you know. Also put your phone number and everything on this sheet of paper. That is the backside of the FFL, and then put this inside the box. That way, if for whatever reason, if the box gets opened or something like that, there is a copy of the federal firearms license in the box to let whoever know that this is legally going to an FFL. And then once it gets to the FFL, they can pull this out and then use this for their records. So this mostly pertains to shipping long guns like rifles and shotguns. Handguns have to be FFL to FFL, so you don't really have to worry about this. NFA items are pretty much the same, I think, with most carriers. They have to be FFL to FFL. Shipping to yourself is kind of weird. Like you can only ship to yourself from the post office. Even though it's legal, FedEx and UPS won't allow you to ship to yourself. There's a lot of other little quirks like that. So the best thing is just to dig in, and this stuff could change. I could make this video, and then a year from now when you're watching this, the rules could be different. So check out the FedEx, UPS, and USPS websites and check on their firearms policy. You can also call them and talk to somebody. And I did that this morning, and it was surprising how I think little that person knew about shipping firearms. So there you go. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.